I'm Mike Gordon, and welcome to day 24 of the Summer Sega, and boy is it a hot one out here today. Woke up at, sprung awake at like 7 in the morning, it feels like it's 100 degrees outside. Jesus freak Christ. It's not even officially summer yet. Anyways, yesterday I completed Alex Kidd the Enchanted Castle again, but this time much more casually. So now we have picked various games, and if you look up at the title card, you can tell, okay, we're playing Super Thunderblade. Oop, wrong button. Now, this does have an achievement system, but I'm not really going for achievements because I already got them all. So, Super Thunderblade, last time, a bit of trivia. This was actually my second perfect playthrough immediately after Altered Beast. And incidentally, even though it was emulated last time, it is one of 4 emulated playthroughs to have been played entirely using just one single save state. I want some players in reverse controls, hard difficulty. And there is a reason why I'm choosing hard difficulty, and it's not to accomplish everything the game has to offer. It's actually because I already did that. You're about to fight. If you haven't seen my perfect playthrough, go ahead and do it. But here is a recap. Alright, A and C basically both shoot projectiles. All you have to do is hold it down while hugging the top right or top left corners in those projectiles, and on hard difficulty, these enemies literally fire at you like they're on crack cocaine. They literally start firing at you as soon as their first pixel comes into frame. It's ridiculous. But while high in the top right or top left corners, they will never be able to hit you. And just like in the Genesis version, A and C shoots, and you just have to hold it down to auto fire. And B puts the brakes on, and later on allows you to go backwards. Now, pressing B during these sections will come in handy in the even number stages. Alright, here's the sub-boss. And technically, you only need to battle the sub-bosses of each stage. However, during my perfect playthrough, I basically use a cheat code to get like 30 lives right off the bat. And it was only thanks to me actually having a really good play session where I basically never died in the first or third stages. Kept lost lives to a minimum, and then kept lives lost in the second stage to a minimum. I was able to beat Super Thunderblade before I ran out of lives in Stage 4, because Stage 4 will just rip through your life counter like it's completely made of butter. The top right, top left corner does not work in the final level. As there are obstacles that will basically force you to interact with the stage environment. All through, and it's constant throughout that level. Whereas in Stage 2, it's only on occasion. And honestly, I'm kind of proud of that perfect playthrough and how that turned out. Other than the fact that I had to re-record my commentary because it wasn't synced up to the gameplay footage. That one. And these are supposed to be the main bosses, but generally all you have to do is survive to the very end. Alright, good. So, however, I don't need to use the 30 live code this time because we actually have access to the rewind feature because Sega Genesis Classics. I will be using a save state here, just in case. And this is, in moments like this in Stage 2 and 4 are the reasons why we have access to brakes during the overhead section. And they do something, and the B button does something slightly different during the top down, during the vertical scrolling sections. What the heck? So even though the corner trick still works pretty well in Stage 2, this is one of 2 stages that forces you to move around a bit. And I'm just revisiting this game. Alright. Let's go. Alright, just have to fire the main engine of this plane. The plot of this game is basically terrorists have weapons of mass destruction, so we gotta save the world. Plot. And it's actually a sequel to an arcade game. To a highly well-respected arcade game titled Thunderblade. So really what this means is, this is a sequel in the technical sense, made come on. Alright. However, because this game was so correctly panned, we never got any further entries in the Thunderblade series. I mean, the Genesis in Japan actually launched with Super Thunderblade and another game that I'll be covering real soon in Summer Sega. I think there's one more cave transition. And honestly, I don't think this game is terrible per se. It's just nobody likes playing with inverse controls, and yet they are a constant inclusion helicopter games. Okay, so maybe the whole nobody likes inverse controls when playing airplane or helicopter games may not be true. So why do it? Why they keep doing it? Well, probably to simulate the idea of piloting a helicopter or a plane. I'm no avian expert. I've never flown a plane before. I doubt that many content creators on YouTube have done so. I have flown on a plane. And I had played some arcade-style helicopter games in the past. I don't know if it was the original Thunderblade or not. I doubt it, but I have played games similar to Super Thunderblade, and they are designed specifically to emulate the concept of flying in one of these vehicles for real. Alright, next save state. Why am I using save states if I can beat this in one go and I have access to a rewind feature? And this game is fairly easy enough that I don't have to worry about save states. Well, because and the reason why is simply put, I don't like this chord. I don't like this setup because I'm literally setting up all of this on my laptop, which is just hanging precariously off the right arm of the couch opposite the TV, with the cord dangling out. So if anything goes loose, the footage just freezes up like that. So if anything were to go wrong, I want to at least be able to go back to where things did go wrong and load save state. I mean, you guys all remember my perfect playthrough of Sonic Origins Plus, right? There were times where the footage simply didn't record. Shit. Fuck. Don't touch the water. And it's only when we take care of all the projectiles firing at me that we will be able to move on. Alright. Why were we? It's strange that we weren't moving because I wasn't pressing the B button. So yes, this looks like no skill whatsoever playing this game, but you know what? This is how the game was designed. This and Soldies are technically the only perfect playthroughs I have done where I didn't have to abuse the save state system or anything like that in order to win. just have to keep hugging this. Okay. So now for the main boss battle of this stage. This is also a really, really short game with 4 levels. I'm guessing that Sega is banking on this game being super hard, and thus requiring multiple play sessions. If you lose all your lives, you do get continues. But you only get 3 continues, and once those continues are up, it's game over. Boom. However, all you have for the first 3 stages, all you really have to do is make it to the very end of the spot of the overhead boss section, and you'll win. Alright, so far so good with the recording. Gonna use another save state so I don't have to go through and watch this cutscene. So far so good, right? Well, not anymore. These buildings are the main reason why the corner trick will no longer work in this game. In this stage. Come on! Wait a minute. And they literally like to fire at you from off screen, so... Come on. Where are these shots coming from? I love that I literally can't hit this thing. corner of that building. Oh, come on! Clipped. Alright. Alright, finally. This thing's a pain in the ass to shoot down. I think what really ticks people off about this game is that you move so slow, making it very extremely difficult to dodge shots being fired at you from every angle. And sometimes the enemies will shoot you even when they're not in frame yet, even when they're not even in frame. final boss time. And yes, even with the 3 live code, even if you were to make it all the way to the last level without dying once, if you just run into every single obstacle in stage 4, you will still get a game over. I think I just died. And let it stand. And here's the final boss. It's this panel right here firing a billion shots at me. We have to shoot the little guys all around first, and then we will be able to destroy the eye in the middle. And this is what the brakes are ultimately for. So you could also boom. Took a few deaths at the very end, but whatever. No bonus for the time, so which makes sense. And that is literally it. That is literally everything we can do in this game. A lot of these shoot 'em ups are really short. If you're kind of shocking just how short these shoot 'em up games are. You can definitely tell that these games were intended to be played hundreds of times until you can sufficiently master them. Because they often don't have because oftentimes they don't have a lot of levels, and you can beat them in about a half hour. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It sort of makes sense. Have super short games that are also really easy that are extremely difficult to beat. But there is a way to beat the system like what Back to the Future 3 does. Make the first level impossibly hard in order to compensate for the fact that the game only has 4 levels. And we got the high score above Yuji Naka. That's what the YN stands for. And then Back to the Future Part 3, the first level's impossibly hard to compensate for the fact that there's only 4 levels of the game, and the rest of the game is piss easy. And not fun to play at all. So where does Super Thunderblade rank in my tier list? That's kind of tricky. It's definitely C tier, that's much for sure, but where would I rank it in C tier? I do think the question is, how much more fun would I have playing that game than I do with any of these other games? Honestly, based on genre and personal experience with these games, I think I would probably rather play Super Thunderblade over any other game on this list. But I do think there would be quite the uproar if I were to rank that game ahead of Road Rash. In Madden 94, College Football 96 are not, or Mortal Kombat. Furthermore, Madden 94 96 or College Football 96 probably would have been a lot more fun had I had better experiences with those games. So I'm going to just put this right here. Right ahead of Alex Kidd. I mean, really, what boils down to is that yes, I would rather play Super Thunderblade than a lot of these games, but if I'm using things like Rewind but if I'm using things like the 30 lives cheat or the rewind feature to beat this game, or the as well as the quarter trick to beat the game, the question is, how much fun is this game really if you take all that away? You know, at least Soul D's I actually played that game with 99 lives, and I still got a game over in the 6th level. So, that's it for Super Thunderblade. Now, I did say that there were 2 launch titles released for the Genesis Day 1, back in, at least in Japan. So what's the other one? Well, I'll spoil it for you. It's Space Harrier 2. To my next game that I will be covering on Summer Sega tomorrow. Sorry for the early end to the stream, but the rules state when I beat the game, when I accomplished everything the game has to offer, I got it. The stream is effectively over. So, my question for today is, what was your favorite launch title? And I know there's only 6 people who have watched this with only 1 concurrent viewer right now, but yeah. I am lasting through 1 game, and now we've got 6 more games to go. Tomorrow we are playing Space Harrier 2. Unless something happens that completely disrupts things for me, then tomorrow's game will be Space Harrier 2. Anyways, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all out of the way, this is Mike Gorin, sign out.